Hey guys, what is up? It is Karen, aka Caked by Baby K, and welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can tell by the title, we are doing a foundation review, demo, wear test, all that good. You guys know that I love demoing foundations on my channel. However, this is not going to be a first impressions. This is actually my second time trying out this foundation. I just was going over the footage that I took yesterday and I just wasn't all that happy with it. Now I've had time to compose my thoughts a little bit more. We're gonna try it out again today, so you guys will be able to see that. So of course, we got the foundation right here. Here is the packaging on the outside, super sleek, comes with a silver component. She says foundation on the side as well as inside on the glass bottle. And this is for when you're looking for this foundation. If you got a bunch, if you're a working makeup artist, it'll be easy to identify since a lot of people, I feel, do use this component. So it's a glass bottle with a black cap. It has a pump, which is amazing. She is a luminous foundation, that's in the name. She's 1 fluid ounce, which is great. It's a standard size for all foundations on the market right now. I love how it has the claims on the side of this box here, because as a consumer, there are so many claims to products, and usually when I review something, I have to like go online and check what they are. But since they're all right here, it just makes my job as a YouTuber, as a product reviewer, as a consumer super easy, because it just lists it all right here. So I'm gonna read them off for you. It is vegan, gluten-free, alcohol-free, clinically tested, dermatologist tested, ophthalmologist tested, which I appreciate because your homegirl wears contacts, non-comedogenic, love when something doesn't clog my pores, suitable for sensitive skin, that's me, yay for having dermatographia, long wearing, and no flashback. And that's the tea, sis. She retails for $38, so with tax it comes out to be like $41 for me, but I did get mine at Ulta. I believe they're only available at Ulta and the ABH website right now. They will be launching in Sephora, I believe, on the 15th, along with the Jackie Aina palette. They did launch powders with this foundation, but unfortunately I won't be reviewing that today because I wanted to try it out with a powder that I know and love. So if anything goes wrong, I know it's the foundation. That's how I usually do my reviews. So we're just gonna dive into the application, and we are doing one side with a sponge and one side with a brush. Now I did do this yesterday, and the sponge side wasn't too full coverage. It is a medium coverage foundation, but even with the sponge, it was turned into like a light coverage foundation. So I preferred it with a brush, which if you know me, you know I love my sponges. I never apply with the brush unless I have to. So we're just going to go in right now, pumping in the back of my hand. I used about like 1.5 pumps. Hi, future Karen popping in here. I do want to mention that my thoughts on this foundation are just simply that, my thoughts. What works for me might not work for you, or what doesn't work for me might work for you. So take this with a grain of salt. Everybody's skin is different, and I personally have an oily T-zone and normal dry everywhere else. So we're just doing my review based on that. So I really hope this is helpful to at least somebody out there. And with that being said, I'm going to swap back to present day Karen. I'm actually gonna zoom you guys in so you can see how it applies. Also, I'm sorry for the lighting. We got random sunspots right here. I'm actually filming super early this morning. It's like 7:48 because we're actually going to BeautyCon today. So I had to get up super early, have to be there at 9:30, and plus I wanted to film this for you guys. We're going to be wear testing this foundation at BeautyCon, so I will be there all day. I'm so excited. I've never been to BeautyCon. So here is the consistency of the foundation. It's not too runny, but it's not too thick either. It's like right in the middle, which is great. I have this shade 355 Neutral, and I like this foundation because it has all 3 undertones, so warm, cool, and neutral, which I really enjoy. However, I am usually a warm type of gal, and it really threw me off when I found a perfect match in a neutral shade. So this is what she looks like. She blends out really nicely. I did prime my face with one of my favorite primers at the moment. It's the City Color Hydrate Me Primer. I raved about, oh my gosh, it's my alarm. Also, we have a little friend here his name is Oswald this time. If you guys didn't know, I like to name my blemishes because I feel like if you give it the love it needs, it'll go away faster. So this is how it applies with a sponge. And I will have to say, yesterday I wasn't loving how it looked with the sponge, but today I kind of am. Maybe yesterday I just didn't put too much product, but nonetheless, that's how it looks compared to, you know, this side right here. It did do a pretty good job of concealing my eye bags, which I am a fan of, okay? Now we're going to do the other side so you guys can see how that wears. I'm actually gonna pump a little bit more on back of my hand. I will say that this foundation oxidizes, at least for me. I was in the store trying out the different shades, and because I'm a warm-toned gal, I naturally reached for a warm undertone foundation. I reached into the 400s, which, granted, I should have looked at the shade range before and seen that the 400 is like the tan range, and I'm usually in the medium range. And when I swatched the foundation on my face and the back of my hand, they immediately got darker, like way darker, and I was like, no. And I did find these shades a little bit weird because the shades that I swatched before my shade, which is 355 neutral, that one also got darker than the one that I have right now. So it's really interesting. I don't know if it's just because it's me and it oxidized differently on me, because I find that oxidation is different from person to person. So here is what both sides look like. This is the sponge side, and then this is the brush side. I will say that yesterday I was not having it with the sponge side, and now I kind of like it. But nonetheless, the brush side does look pretty similar. There's no streaking, if you guys can see that, which I'm all for it. We love a versatile foundation. So I'm actually gonna do like my eyes and everything off camera, and I will be back to show you the rest of the face makeup. Okay, so the sun has decided to come out a little bit more, so I'm just gonna stay back a little. I did apply some powder. I did the Laura Mercier translucent powder, which is my tried and true. So if anything goes wrong with the foundation, I know it's not the powder. We are going to bronze the face now actually to see how it applies over top of the foundation, because if you guys watch my channel regularly, you know that I don't powder the areas that I bronze. So I usually like to include this part in my foundation review so you guys can see how it applies, and if there's like any skipping or funky things going on, you guys can see for yourselves. So I'm just going in with the Benefit Hoola bronzer, but so far it's looking good. And I will say that it doesn't transfer even if you don't set it. So if you don't like powder and you don't like setting your foundation, it's still gonna be okay and transfer proof, which I absolutely love in a foundation. So she's going on pretty smoothly. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of eyeshadow, lashes, and finish up the rest of the face, and I will be back to give you guys some thoughts before we do our check-ins. All right, guys, so I am back with a full face. We are BeautyCon ready. So I am wearing the foundation right now. So far, it feels really, really good. To be completely honest, I wasn't too happy with it yesterday, but now that I'm giving it a second chance, I really feel like it is a good foundation. So it is now 8:50. I'm so sorry about the lighting. It's just like, because it's early, it's uneven, I'm sorry. But it is 8:50 right now. We are going to be at BeautyCon all day, so I will check in at the end of the night and keep you guys updated on whether I touch up or anything. I usually don't, to be honest, so we are going to see how it looks without this bird, can it not? But we are going to see how it wears throughout the day. I'll probably be back like around 3 or 4, I wanna say. So with that being said, I will see you at our next check-in. All right, guys, I am back from BeautyCon day 1. I've worn this foundation for about 9 hours. It is now 5:07, so you guys have the proof that I actually wore it for this long. As you can tell, I'm a grease ball. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you can see. So in this general vicinity, I'm not too happy with how it came out. I know I didn't mention this earlier, but I do get a lot of sinkage in my smile line, so there's some there, and then it does get really oily around my nose, so there is some cakiness, some buildup right at the nose there. I'm gonna powder right now and we shall see how it layers on top of this greasy foundation. I'm gonna keep it at this low light right now so you guys can see. It's a little bit more true to color, but after I apply it, I will bump the brightness up so you guys can also see what that looks like. So this is what it looks like in the lower light after I did a powder touch-up. I touched up my forehead and then my T-zone. I'm gonna bump up the brightness so you guys can see a little bit better. And this is what it looks like. Honestly, camera settings make such a big difference. I will say though, I think this foundation oxidized like a little bit more as the day went on. I was looking at my mirror in my car, you know, the one that folds down, the tell-all mirror, and it just looked a lot darker than I expected it to be. And I don't know if it's because maybe I was in brighter light when I was filming it, and then going outside in natural light was a different result, but I do have natural light streaming in from my windows right here, and then I also use a ring light on top of that, so maybe that had something to do with it, but I honestly do think that it oxidized a little bit more throughout the day. I will say it does become a little bit tackier as the day goes on. When I touch my face with my fingers, there is a little bit of transfer on there, especially like right here. You guys probably can't see, but it's there. I would say if you are a dry gal, that this foundation is definitely for you. However, if you're oily, I don't really think so because it started to break up on my nose. Granted, it was a lot better than other foundations that I've tried. However, my L'Oreal Fresh Wear, which is drugstore, is amazing. It holds out throughout the day and it doesn't really look that cakey even if my oils are peeking through. So it's definitely a make it or break it point when it comes to foundations for me. This foundation broke up a little bit in my problem areas, but it wasn't too bad. So right now I really feel like I have in between thoughts about this. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I felt like doing another wear test today after doing yesterday's. I felt like that was helpful with me gathering my thoughts on this foundation overall and not just going off of a first impressions, and I hope you guys will appreciate that as well. So my final thoughts is that if you are a dry gal, I think you'll love this foundation. However, if you're oily, I really think that it's going to break up on your skin. I'm not overly oily. I'm oily, but I'm not as oily as some other people that I know, and it started to break up on me. However, it only started to break up at the, I want to say like 7-hour mark. So if you aren't wearing this foundation for a long amount of time, this could be your gal. I will say that the coverage yesterday when I applied it was not that great. It was a really light coverage. However, today it was a lot better. The gist of my thoughts is that I really don't know how I feel about it, and I think that's an answer in itself. Like I said, I don't love it and I don't hate it. So those are my final thoughts. I hope you guys really enjoyed this review slash demo slash wear test. You guys know I love trying these out for you guys. And with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good, and I'll see you guys in my next one.